Imagine a world where the sky is a permanent barrier, an endless blue expanse that humanity can look at, but never touch. A world without the roar of a jet engine, without the long silver lines of planes tracing the horizon, without the very idea of a human soaring through the air. For over a century, flight has shrunk our planet, connecting continents, cultures, and economies in a way that was once unimaginable. It has reshaped warfare, created new industries, and given us a perspective on our planet that was once reserved for gods. But what if that miracle never happened? What if the laws of aerodynamics, as we know them, were subtly different? What if the internal combustion engine never achieved the power-to-weight ratio required for sustained flight? What if, for whatever reason, humanity remained a grounded civilization? This isn't a simple tale of a world without vacations. It is a deep, unflinching look into a different kind of human history, one where our ambitions were limited by our terrestrial existence, and where the world remained a vast, disconnected place. Part 1: The stagnation of travel and global commerce. The most immediate and dramatic consequence of a world without flight would be the utter stagnation of global travel and commerce. In our world, a person can cross the globe in a matter of hours. In a world without flight, that same journey would take weeks or even months by sea. The concept of a business meeting across continents, of a global supply chain, or of tourism as a mass industry would be impossible. The world would be a vast, slow-moving place, where the distances between continents would once again become a real and tangible barrier. This would lead to a fragmented global economy. Instead of a single, interconnected market, the world would be divided into regional trading blocks. Goods would be transported by slow, cumbersome cargo ships, and the concept of just-in-time manufacturing would be a dream. This would lead to a more localized, less efficient economy, where products are made and consumed within a limited geographic radius. The vast, interconnected web of modern commerce would not exist. Part 2: A different kind of war. War, too, would be fundamentally different. The very concept of air power, of strategic bombing, of aerial surveillance, and of global troop transport, would be non-existent. Wars would be fought on land and at sea, with naval power once again becoming the dominant military force. The course of the world wars would be completely altered. The Battle of Britain would never have happened, and the long, brutal battles on the Western Front would have been fought without the constant threat of aerial bombardment. The concept of a global, total war would be impossible, as nations would be unable to project their military power across oceans with speed and efficiency. But this does not mean the world would be more peaceful. The absence of flight would simply shift the balance of power. The world would be dominated by naval powers, and the conflicts that define the 20th century would be fought by massive fleets of warships and submarines. The arms race would be focused not on jet engines and nuclear bombers, but on the ultimate battleship and the impenetrable submarine. The world would be a place of different, but no less brutal, conflict. Part 3: The end of global culture. Flight has brought the world together in a way that no other technology has. It has allowed for the rapid exchange of ideas, of culture, and of people. In a world without flight, this global cultural exchange would be a slow, gradual process. The influence of American cinema, of Japanese anime, or of African music would be limited to a few coastal cities, not spread across the globe with a speed that defies comprehension. The concept of a global culture, of a single, interconnected human experience, would be a foreign one. The world would be a place of local and regional cultures, each with its own unique identity and its own unique way of life. This could lead to a world of greater cultural diversity, a beautiful mosaic of different traditions and customs. But it could also lead to a world of greater prejudice and isolation, where the differences between people are not celebrated but are seen as a source of suspicion and distrust. The world would be a place of cultural silos, where a person from one continent might never meet or understand a person from another. Part 4: A different kind of science. Flight has been a powerful driver of scientific and technological innovation. The needs of the aviation industry have spurred countless inventions, from new materials and propulsion systems to advanced computer technology and GPS. In a world without flight, that innovation would be absent. The pace of technological progress would be much slower, but it would also be more focused on terrestrial needs. The world's brightest minds would be dedicated to building better trains, faster ships, and more efficient ground transportation. The field of meteorology, too, would be fundamentally altered. Without weather balloons, satellites, and the ability to fly into a storm, our understanding of the atmosphere would be a rudimentary one. Weather forecasting would be a matter of local observation, not of global modeling. The world would be a place of greater uncertainty, of a constant struggle to understand the forces of nature without the ability to observe them from above. The final frontier, a world without perspective. Perhaps the most profound consequence of a world without flight would be a change in our perspective. For the first time in human history, we were able to look down on our planet, to see its immense beauty and its incredible fragility. The famous pale blue dot photograph of our planet from the vantage point of space, a tiny, insignificant marble in the vastness of the cosmos, gave us a new perspective on our own importance. It showed us that we are all on a single, shared planet, and that our borders are an illusion. In a world without flight, that perspective would be absent. Humanity would be forever grounded, a species that can only look at the stars, but never touch them. Our understanding of our own planet would be limited by what we could see from the ground, from a ship, or from the top of a mountain. We would be a species without a cosmic perspective, a species that is forever confined to the small, terrestrial world that we were born into. The what-ifs are endless. We've explored a world without flight, but what do you think would be the greatest benefit of living in such a world? Do you think a lack of global connection would lead to a world of greater peace or of greater isolation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to keep exploring how our world could be different, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Timeline Shift, and get ready for our next adventure.